Hey YouTube, YTPC, pop smokers from all points of the globe. Welcome back to the channel. Gonna do a little discussion today, talk about the history of our beloved leaf. We're gonna dive into the past and talk about the first people to use tobacco and sort of how it developed as a pastime and a hobby and what it meant to these people of the past, and maybe talk about what it means to us today. So what I'm reading is coming out of this book right here. It's called Smoking by Mrs. Sherry Sonnet. This is copyrighted 1977. So I got a pipe packed here. Little Missouri Meerschaum Morgan. Inside, I got some Cornell Diehl Bijou, a wonderful Oriental Virginia blend. So I'm gonna fire this up and we're gonna dive into this book right here and talk about the tobacco plant. I love this tobacco. It is so good. Aged Orientals and aged Virginias, delicately topped with honey. So how did smoking begin? Well, let's start by first talking about the plant. Tobacco is a plant that at first grew wild all over the North and South American continents. There were over 60 varieties. The main types were Nicotiana rustica, which is a blend that, which is a type of leaf that is available. It's not as widely available in the pop smoking world. You used to could get the HH version, HH Rustica by McBaron. That was a pretty popular blend, and it's supposed to be a little bit stronger leaf than the other one, which grew in the South, and it was called Nicotiana tabacum, and that's the one that we mostly smoke. And it's the parent of the modern commercial tobaccos. Tobacco is a member of the nightshade family, and some kinds have large, handsome flowers. The common petunia is a distinct relative and gets its name from pitum, the Tupi Indian name for tobacco. The plant is very adaptable and can grow in a wide variety of climates, from tropical jungles to temperate plains to arid mountains. Some types have large leaves, others quite small ones, and each plant puts out pods with thousands and thousands of seeds. Every known variety of tobacco was originally found in the Americas. Tobacco smoking is one of the few customs that can be called strictly American in origin. Nobody knows how the first person got the idea to burn tobacco and inhale the smoke, but historians agree that person was a Mayan Indian. The Mayans had a great civilization that was at its height when Jesus Christ was alive. It covered what is now southern Mexico and Central America. Now there is a fascinating subject. The study of Mayan history and culture, I love that subject. I've dove deep into that. Mayan civilization declined for reasons that are still shrouded in mystery, but they left behind great temples and pyramids and passed many of their customs on to their successors, the Toltecs and the Aztecs. One of their customs, tobacco smoking, spread to almost every other Indian tribe throughout North and South America. A Mayan carving is the earliest representation of tobacco smoking. It was found on the Mayan temple at Palenque in southern Mexico and shows an old man in a fancy headdress blowing smoke. through a long, straight pipe. The man is a shaman or medicine man, and he is probably offering the smoke to the gods as a prayer for rain. It is likely that at first tobacco was always used as part of a religious ritual or ceremony. It is not hard to understand why. The strong Indian tobaccos could produce strange states of consciousness in the smoker. The smoke itself, as it hid things and drifted up to the heavens, may have looked magical and mysterious. So, it's pretty clear that these Mayans, tobacco was a big part of their existence and a part of their life. They used it, for religious purposes. They used it for ritual purposes. They used it as medicine. Tobacco was a big deal to these people. The Mayans thought tobacco smoke could keep away evil winds and poisonous snakes. They believed it could protect night travelers and those who worked in dark places. They also believed that shooting stars were burning cigar butts thrown away by the Balaam or jaguar rain gods. These gods ruled over the four corners of the universe. In one of their ceremonies, they blew tobacco smoke in the four directions to appease the gods. So check this out. Here's a picture of that engraving in stone, the first representation of tobacco use. In Palenque, in Mexico, an ancient city. In one ceremony, called the Interrogation of Chiefs, a series of riddles was asked. One of them was, "Sun, bring me the firefly of the night. Its smell shall pass to the north and to the west. Bring me the beckoning tongue of the jaguar." What does the chief want? The answer to the riddle is a smoking tube or cigarette of tobacco. The firefly is the cigarette, and the jaguar's tongue is a light. Cihuacotl, the powerful goddess of the earth, had a body filled with tobacco. Mixcoatl, the god of hunting, was generally pictured with a gourd containing tobacco as part of his costume. The Mayans also believed tobacco and its smoke could cure illness, protect an unborn child, and rid a dwelling of ghosts and evil spirits. So, these Mayans, tobacco smoking to them was very spiritual. And I kind of feel that. I would say when I smoke my pipe, I do consider it sort of a spiritual thing. It's very special to me. It's very calming. And when I really concentrate and I really let myself get lost in my smoke, it's spiritual. I can see especially how these guys and gals so long ago would consider it a spiritual thing, especially considering they didn't have as many distractions then as we do today. So it was even more special to them. And it wasn't just the Mayans. Almost every tribe that smoked tobacco had religious or magical beliefs about it. The Caribs of Brazil blew smoke over their warriors to give them courage in battle. The Indians of Virginia cast powdered tobacco on stormy waters to appease the gods and improve their fishing catch. The Osages always smoked before doing anything important and invited the Great Spirit to come down, smoke with me as a friend. The Karuks had a myth about a winged one, called Savage One of the Middle of the World. He frightens the sun, called He Who Travels Above Us, with tobacco smoke until the sun promises to protect him in time of war. Another Indian tale is about Long-billed Dowager, who loses his 5 children to Mountain Man. He finally kills Mountain Man with stones. Then he puts his children's bones in a lake and brings them back to life by smoking and blowing the smoke over them. Like the Mayans, other tribes believed in the power of tobacco and its smoke to calm angry gods, give courage, cure illness, bring rain in time of drought, or turn back the waters in time of flood. The Indians thought tobacco could do just about everything if you used it right. Because tobacco was so plentiful and easy to use, Indians began smoking tobacco outside of religious ceremonies. By the time Columbus landed, they had already developed all the ways of smoking that would soon spread around the world. The Mayans used long clay pipes in their rituals, but they preferred cigarettes for their personal use. These were very much like modern cigarettes, except that they had no paper. Instead, they wrapped the shredded tobacco in corn husks, palm leaves, or some other material. They also smoked cigars that were made just like cigars are today. Sometimes they simply tied some tobacco leaves with string and lit up. So this next part is for us pipe smokers. One little paragraph, specific to us. Some tribes preferred pipes to cigarettes and cigars. Archaeologists have found beautiful examples of pipes in both North and South America. They were often decorated with animal symbols of power such as the eagle, bear, turtle, or frog. The mound builders of the American Midwest had left behind very elaborate pipes made of stone, clay, and wood, and some with hammered copper bowls. They rivaled the clay pipes the English would later perfect. The Caribs even took snuff, which is powdered tobacco taken through the nose. They used a forked instrument shaped like a Y, made out of bone or cane. They put the 2 ends in each nostril, the other into the tobacco, and just sniffed. Although nobody knows exactly where the word tobacco comes from, some people think it was the Indian name for this instrument, which the Spanish misunderstood to mean the plant itself. So here's a picture of this instrument they used. There's the guy with the thing stuffed in his nose. Can you see that? And they would sniff ground tobacco. This other photo is a clay pipe from the Adena Mound in Ohio, which shows a man with an elaborate headdress and earrings. So this is a pipe. Pretty elaborate. It seemed very odd to the Europeans when they discovered tobacco and all the ways it could be used. As cigarettes, cigars, pipes, snuff, even chewing. Imagine how startled the English explorer probably felt in 1605 at being offered a lobster claw filled with tobacco to smoke. But it wasn't long before the Europeans tried the stuff, liked it, and brought it home to Europe. Well, that brings us up to the arrival of the Spanish. And I think we're going to pick up there in the next part of this little series, the history of our beloved tobacco leaf. Thank y'all so much for checking out this presentation. I really appreciate it. Feel free to drop a comment. Love to know what you guys think about all this stuff that we're talking about here, the history of the leaf and the rituals and ceremonies that these people did. If you like this content, please hit that like button. Be glad for you to subscribe to the channel. If you don't mind, maybe tell a few pipe smokers about the channel. We'd really appreciate that. And if y'all tune in next time to finish up this series on the history of tobacco. Thank y'all so much.